Welcome to our Rolemaster Actual play session. Twilight of the Old Order and Ain't No Place for a Hero are two campaigns, currently co-joined, set in the World of Duranarki, the continent of men. The game system used in our game is Rolemaster Classic, with a liberal inclusion of home rules. We hope you enjoy our story. And, as always, may the dice roll in your favor. This is episode 84 of Twilight of the Old Order, and episode 62 of Ain't No Place for a Hero. The two parties are on a desperate quest to recover two more arcane lodestones, which they hope will lead to their escape from the strange, multi-dimensional place known as the In-Between. We pick up the story after some amazing bow work from some of the party against the acid-spitting horrors, but with Niathanel in a very, very dangerous spot, while other party members are wondering where Askel is. And with that, if I can please ask Pete if you can introduce the characters you're playing tonight.
Sure thing. I'll be playing Leif, a friendly half-elf. He is a warrior main, so he likes using magic and his sword. I also be playing with him an antisocial human ranger. She just doesn't bother with other people. It's too much trouble. And Nicholas, who is a mentalist and a human, and he just likes observing the rest of the party. He's very innocuous, doesn't want to harm anyone.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Aiden.
Hello. I am going to be playing Grey Roughwind. He's the handsome half-elf and beastmaster within the group. He's passionate about animals and wearing very little. And then I'm also going to be playing Demos. Demos is a handsome human who is also very skilled at stabbing things with his big spear.
Excellent. Superb. Alex.
Kia ora YouTube, my name's Alex and I play Keros, who is a human weather mage, so magic involving all things to do with weather and the elements. She's very sweet and earnest. She has a strong passion for social justice and animals, and she has a wee companion, little kitty cat, called Victory.
Superb. Graham.
I will be playing four characters, first of whom is Severin Kaidegaard, resident tank, swordsman by profession, harks from up north, and built like a brick shithouse. He is alpha male, likes the sound of his own voice, but is generally a good guy other than that, and is rather good with a sword. It's his sole purpose and being. Meanwhile, Tanya, Anastasia, is a hunter. She's a wood elf, and she is a little bit difficult, very spiky, difficult to get to know, but is pretty handy to have around, not least because she is rather effective with a bow, her weapon of choice. She's also rather sneaky, and is a good scout when scouts are called for. She's also not difficult to look at. Niathanel Sherakir is another elf, a high elf. She is a magent. She's complicated. She mixes stealth with magic and arms, and is unassuming to look at, apart from a shock of red hair. But she is intense. She seems affable. She is intelligent, but there's something a little bit wrong about her, and she has issues and strong religious beliefs that tend to lead to her stabbing people. Turning then to Etienne Gilderflower, the Rose. A beautiful man. By profession, a genitrist or a paladin. He is a half-elf. And he is on a mission from his goddess, Aphrodite. And he has joined the group to see that through. He is extremely charming, very curious, and extremely tolerant, but an incredible flirt, and enjoys the good things in life, like drinking and relations with, well, anything that's going, really. He's a good warrior, but very driven, and upholds a very strict moral code.
Superb. Thank you. And last, but definitely by no means least, Anthony.
Yeah, I got Askelion, shortened to Askel. He's a half-elf warrior mage. He's still finding his way with the party at the moment, but yeah, he's a bit of a roguish type character. Then tonight I'm also playing Jada. She's a very tall 6'7" lay healer with beautiful green eyes. Yeah, and she comes from a monastery background, so she loves to heal and look after people. That's Jada.
Excellent. Thank you, one and all. Well, if we're all ready, let's start the game. All right, folks, I'm about to share the map. And just to remind you, and we'll go over it just quickly, a couple of things that happened last session. Hopefully you should all see that now. I just want to do a quick check that the sharing that map didn't switch off our volume, which it didn't because it had been before. Alrighty, so hopefully you can all see that. So, where we left things last time was in a bit of a tense situation. Four of the horrible of the horrible acid-spitting, nasty, horrendous creatures here. Two of them are now dead. One was slit, the throat was slit by a very, very nervous Niathanel who is here, and the other one was shot by Tanya. Mithan, you've nipped around this corner. Tanya, you've also done the same. Gray, you were unfortunately shot in the back by one of your teammates, Severin. Just a misfire with a bow. You've got an arrow hanging out of your arm and you're bleeding. You've pulled yourself around the corner and you've asked Keros to come around and give you a hand. And Keros is indeed here. Further back here is Leif, Severin. We have Jada here. Afsun, the very beautiful, somewhat strange Persanian astral traveler who you encountered in this very strange place that you find yourselves in. And of course, Victory the cat. Through in this room here are both Etienne and Demos. They've gone on search for Askel. Askel went through here a few minutes, or not even that, a minute or so ago. There was a bit of a strange noise, and then something happened. And Askel has potentially disappeared. Potentially, we'll come to that in a second. That's where we're about to begin. There are, however, 5 dice rolls that need to be made first. And you'll all recall that when you've come into this terrible, awful place known as the In-Between, that for some of you, if you are unlucky and things don't go your way, you can actually find yourselves slipping down into the heat and the chaos and the horror of what lies below you, or being sucked up into the ether and the light and the terrible, terrible, terrible beauty above you. And that actually happened 3 times to Askel last session that we need to resolve, and twice to Tanya. So we're going to do that as the very first thing we do. Those will be 3 channeling resistance rolls. negative 15, I believe, for Askel, and negative 5 for Tanya. Before we start, any qualifying questions, anything that people don't know about, anything they want to just check before we start? Going once. Going twice. Gone. Okay. Hello?
Sorry, that's me with my iPad. Can I just check? Did Keros do the healing spell
No.
last game?
No.
So no healing's been done yet?
Not yet. So what happened was Keros was preparing to cast a spell here. Grey was then hit with the arrow, ducked around the corner, and basically turned to Keros bleeding and saying, "Hey, please help me." And Keros just said, of course, instantly, "Of course I will," because that's the kind of person she is. She's come around the corner. She kind of lost concentration on the spell that she's preparing, because you need to prepare for a particular spell. She's clamped her hand onto Grey, so instead of bleeding 3 hits around, he's bleeding 2, and she's thinking of casting this round, but she hasn't cast the spell. No.
Thank you.
No worries. Any other qualifying questions, folks? Nope. Okay. Askel, you fell down a pit. Let's find out if you're actually still visible or not. So this is 3 negative 15 channeling rolls. They are against a particular level, or reasonably high level. So make your rolls good. And just 1 second, please. There we go. What level is Askel? It's his old level. He has gone up a level. But he was 5th, I think, when this happened. 5th. Cool. Okay, cool. Cool. And it's negative 15. Okay, cool. Askel, you've got to be 80 on all 3 of these. Give me the first roll, please.
Yeah. Let's roll 55.
Nope.
Second roll 32.
Nope.
Lucky last. No, not lucky. 73.
Okay. Askel, you're completely unconscious, so you're completely oblivious to this. But you've gone down to up to chest deep. So you have slipped completely, not that you're aware of this at all, but you have slipped down below, quite a long way below. And until you come up, you're at negative 30 to all actions. Not that you currently can, because you are unconscious, of course. Yeah, so you're quite a long way down. Can I please ask for the same from Tanya? And just to check, this is a negative 5 for you, Tanya. Oh, sorry, there should have been your channeling added onto that, Anthony, but I think with any of those rolls, unless it was something stellar, I don't think that would have happened.
Just quick question. Is it additional punishment that I rolled a double 5?
Yeah.
Well, first roll was 55, so.
Yeah.
Roll again?
You are currently stuck up to your neck if you were standing up, and at negative 200. So again, thank you for your honesty. Another 100 XP for being honest. Yeah, you're really low down. Even in your unconscious state, you are feeling warmth. You are feeling heat and chaos and clawing at your back. And even in your unconscious, unrecognizable state, things are clamoring at you and they're getting really, really close to pulling you down to where they are. You really don't want to go down any further. Tanya, what level are you, please?
Tenya
Mm-hmm.
is level 7.
7. Thank you. And what is her channeling?
-1.
-1. Okay. And it's a -5. So you've got to beat 2 65s. Give me a roll, please.
89.
Final one. Yep.
32.
Okay. So Tanya, we're not going to say it affected your last round, but you have been sucked down. So whenever that roll happened, vump, you've been pulled down, and you are now down to your knees. You're at -10 to all actions. So you're feeling the kind of the heat on the soles of your feet. Very mild in comparison to poor Askel, but you're being pulled down, but you're at -10. So everybody has noticed that Tanya has been pulled down into the floor in this kind of bizarre and alarming way. That's where we're going to start, guys. I am rolling initiative for you, or more to the point, the computer is. We are off, and the first is dead. The next one is indeed Niathanel. Niathanel, you are up. What do you want to do, please? You are here. This thing is on its feet and looking very groggy. Both of these have been hit by arrows, by the way. They've certainly been thwacked by arrows. What is your action this round?
Seeing this thing knows I'm there, or I think that it knows I'm there.
Yes.
Yes. I've been stressing about this 2 weeks. But really sweating it, and I shouldn't. It's not that important in the scheme of things, but I have got to teleport out of here, which means I'm going to have to make a lot of noise and do some extreme arm swinging and will myself to teleport. Can you pull the camera back out?
Yep.
So 50 foot down that passageway.
So you're coming back down here?
I think so. So long as that 50 foot is further than the gets me into that room with the pillars.
Down here? Yeah, 50 foot.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So I'm fairly familiar with the space, so I will teleport myself into an area well known away from other objects.
Okay, cool. This is a roll without preparing the spell.
Yes.
Give me a roll.
Lots of shouting, though.
Lots of shouting.
Lots of gesticulating. Gesticulating like she's never gesticulated before. Come on. Come on!
Go!
56.
56. Not bad. Plus 10 for shouting, plus 5 for gesticulating. -30 for not preparing. Is a 41. The spell is successful.
Get on! Can't tell. Oh, that's put me in a very good mood. Right, I'm out of there.
Hang on. Hang on. The spell is successful.
Yes. Oh, there it goes. Yeah.
Where does she? I mean, she's just rocketing her way down here, and where does she? Where does she?
Somewhere suitable.
Okay.
Somewhere away from people. It's just that she has a nice soft landing.
Wham. Oop.
That wasn't that soft.
I think, to be fair, she's doing this in the blink of an eye. I think there is a small chance, a 15% chance that she could land on either Nicholas or Severin. Yeah, either Nicholas
to be fair, her intent is to go into space. So if, rather than teleporting to the crowd, if she pulls herself up short, she knows where the acid is going. Okay, she'd rather do that.
So just to frame things up, she was standing right here. She's aware that these two creatures have just arrived. She is making a split-second decision to get down the corridor as fast as she can. She's got no idea where other people are. So 15% chance she lands on either Severin or someone else. Or Nicholas, I think I said. 15 or under, and you've got a problem.
79.
You're fine. Bang! She's out and she's down. That's she's 75%. If you give me an orientation roll for 10%, she'll have 15%, and she succeeds, she'll have 15% afterwards to do what she wants, or she can cancel the round there. Up to you.
Well, I might as well orient myself. 23.
23. This is non mast. What's your perception, please?
It is. Perception is rather high. 68.
Cool. Yeah, you're not quite good enough. You're a bit groggy and a bit disorientated.
Right.
You basically just landed, and I'm going to say for the rest of that rounds, no, you don't quite know. You just kind of you kind of got where you are, but that's probably it for this round. Bang, you're there.
Am I allowed to say anything, or is that out?
No, I'll give you that.
There's one more.
Okay. Sure thing. Excellent. Thank you very much. And that was lucky. That was very, very lucky. Next up is Jada.
All right. So she is just there. Did she hear Gray getting hit in the back? Was Gray got hit?
Kind of quite a lot's gone on. Give me a perception roll. An unmasked perception roll is the way to go.
$63.
What's the perception?
Perception. Perception is plus 49.
49. Yes. Yeah. That's enough. Actually, that's a plus 0. It's neither a bonus or a minus for it. That's 112. Yeah. So she did. She knows Gray pretty well. She's been traveling with Gray for quite some number of months now, and yeah, she heard him. He's screamed. I don't know. Is Gray the kind of character to scream? Aiden?
More of a grunt.
More of a grunt. Okay, so she's definitely heard a very Gray-like grunt, and her listening was good enough to hear Gray say, and he's probably in pain and shock. So, yeah, she's also just caught something about Gray saying "Keros, help" or something like that.
Right. Good. In that case, yes. Data will move up the steps, cautiously noting that there was obviously the acid-spitting creature, so she would go as far as peering around the corner.
Mm-hmm. Yep. About there.
Yep. And can she see? Is there any creatures that she can see?
Yeah, she's come up to the corner. She looks down, and she can see 1 and 2 that are still on their feet. There's enough light coming in this doorway. Yes, she can.
Right. Cool. Can she make a dash? I think she has the shield spell up already. I think last session.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that off to the left?
It's Leif.
He's standing in an alcove.
Mithan. Tanya. She can probably. Don't forget this is happening in a split second, so she can definitely see Severin there, Leif there, Mithan there, and she could probably catch a glimpse of Tanya there.
Right. So the right of Severin, up behind the wall there.
Over kind of here. Oops. Here.
Yeah. Sort of track around behind there to stay undercover.
Sure. Give me like an easy roll for running.
Running. 35.
Yeah, it's fine. Yep, she belts up here. She gets up the stairs and she's got her back up against this wall, and she's here. Anything else for her?
Emma? Probably.
Probably another 25% by the time she came up and had a look around.
No, just opportunity action.
Okay, sure thing. Cool.
Yeah.
Next is Leif.
He's aware of Niathanel appearing?
He's been staring up the passageway with intent, as you'd imagine. He's certainly aware that Niathanel has disappeared.
Did she see something behind him?
Sorry?
I said three words.
Give me like a plus 50 perception roll, please, Pete.
Sure. That's right. It's not. Oh, yeah, 96.
That'll do. Roll again.
57.
57. Pete, you are aware of everything. You heard every syllable announced by Niathanel. You would actually say you could almost pinpoint exactly where she is in the dark. Were there like woodlouse or creatures? You know, yeah. But bizarrely enough, you haven't seen any insects in this entire place that you've been here. But were there insects around? You could probably hear them crawling through the woodwork. You hear everything. Yes, indeed.
All he wanted to say was, good job, Niathanel. Congratulations. Because that was a scary thing to do. And he's going to prepare for the rest of the round.
Okay, sure thing.
Thanks, babe.
Next up, Etienne, you are through here. The very last thing that happened was Demos peering down into the pit and saying Etienne had a quick look, but Demos had like a proper look before, and the very last thing that Demos said was, "I can't see any sign of Askel." Just as Etienne is about to move, however, something happens, and this is what happens.
Oh.
And you're kind of peering over. You're kind of peering over Demos's shoulders, and to your horror, by the light of this lantern that Demos is holding up, peering down into the pit, you may recall that inside the pit, interestingly enough, there were spikes up on the very bottom, but there are also spikes on the roof that you could see and on the sides. And with that horrible noise, that whole pit is suddenly violently shaken around at speed, and anybody that was caught in there would have been hurled around like a rag doll and ended up being impaled, probably on countless more spikes. What do you do, Etienne?
So it's right. So it's violently shaken.
Correct.
We don't think we can see anything in it. As it shook, were we in any danger of being impaled ourselves?
Not at all.
Right. So it's shaken within its confines.
Correct.
But you said something about the ceiling as well.
Correct. So there are spikes. In fact, the GM has a useful little graphic for you coming into the main chat right now.
They didn't count on people going into the ground up to their necks for that chat, though, did they?
Yeah, that was lucky. That was lucky.
Just coming. Just coming.
Anyway, Chris, I think I said at the end of the last go that he, or it might have been his Maven, started that action last round. I can't remember that he was getting a torch out.
Yes,
he didn't have much light.
Yes, you did. That's kind of what you see.
They did see blood, is that right?
Yes, they did. So, can you see the graphic?
Yeah.
Looks friendly.
So that thing is, has been, it's probably actually still is kind of cranking around for a bit. So Etienne's in the process of getting out a torch.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. We'll leave that for the end of his round. Right, number 3. Okay. This one here kind of staggers a little bit to about here. Doesn't move much. It's not particularly. Yeah, it's not doing a lot. For those that can see it. And the same with this one. It kind of shuffles over here a little bit more.
I thought there was only one left. There's two.
There's two. Yeah, there's two. Shuffles over to maybe not about there, probably more about there, but it also doesn't seem to do very much. Definitely moving very slowly, whereas they've been sprinting before. Keros, your round. You've just clamped your hand onto poor Grey's arm. There is blood. You feel his warm blood trickling out from between your fingers. What do you do?
I would like to cast a healing spell, which is level 6 cauterize.
Go for it.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you take the arrow out first?
You could take the arrow out first. That would be really helpful.
I don't know.
No, it's super helpful. Keros would take that arrow out.
Okay.
And immediately cauterize.
Okay.
Thank you, Pete.
So taking the arrow out is going to be a.
Super quick. Just whip that out.
It's going to be a second aid maneuver. Do you have second aid?
I do have second aid. I've just rolled a 93.
Okay.
What can I use that for? Second aid, I have plus 22.
Okay. Just coming.
So obviously we don't want to cauterize with the arrow in situ.
Sure. So that was a 93 plus?
Correct. 22.
It wasn't a particularly serious injury, and it wasn't, and the arrow wasn't like deeply lodged. It kind of cut its way through. Look, success. There's this kind of gout of blood, and I'm afraid, Grey, you take another 3 hits because Keros has had to take her hand off your arm. But the arrow is now out. Keros, that's now your round.
And I cast now?
No. Taking the arrow out is definitely...
No, sorry?
Taking the arrow out is definitely all you can do in one round. It takes quite a bit. Great.
And then can I apply pressure?
I'm going to say taking an arrow out is definitely a 10% action. No, I'm going to say that's it.
Okay.
You're done for this round.
Do I get a kiss?
You can ask Grey for a kiss. Is there consent for a kiss?
Definitely.
Do you want to give him
Even just a little smoochie on the cheek?
Do you want to...
Yeah, Grey definitely gives you a cheeky little cheek kiss.
There you go. You give him a kiss on the cheek. Lovely! Blush! Okay, next up is Mithan. Mithan, you've ducked around the corner. What do you do?
Those things did not spit acid this turn. Is that true? We didn't hear any spitting come our way?
You haven't heard any spitting yet.
Yeah, no, she's not going to trust that. She's just going to make sure, she'll reload her bow, and make sure she's back, as far back in the alcove as she can, so she's not in any danger of getting back out in the face.
Sure thing. Okay. Gray. You're not stunned. So you are capable of action. You're at negative 15 to everything you do. Keros has just kissed you on the cheek and ripped an arrow out of your arm.
He's probably feeling a bit sheepish and a bit happy and a bit sad at the same time. I'd say probably when she takes her hand off his wound, maybe he would kind of put his hand there distinctly as well to kind of help stop the blood flowing.
Cool.
I don't think there's really much that he would do at the moment other than maybe just prepare for anything he can do next round. He doesn't know that Jada's down the hallway, so I don't think he would call out to her.
Cool. Sure. When you say prepare, is he preparing a spell or is he just... tell me what he's...
Just preparing for pain and maybe preparing for a spell. So maybe, just in case anything comes towards them.
Okay, cool. Cool. Nicholas, you're back down here. You've heard a thwump from behind... Whoops. From behind you. Let me just get my map sorted. A thwump from behind you, and you've heard... beside you, I should say, and you've seen Niathanel just appear out of thin air, and say there's one left.
Oh, he is going to... He'll say, well, that was interesting. And he'll attack with the whistling. He'll attack both, the one closest to the bars. Oh, no, the one furthest from the bars with the whistling.
Yep, go for it.
And can I just run this... so I might do the grapple attack, which says it comes with a B crit. Is that or is it an A crit that comes with it automatically if he grapples it?
An A crit.
An A crit. Cool. Okay, he will go with then the... no. Yep, no, he'll do that. So he'll do a, I believe it's a small grapple.
Okay. So, Nicholas going for this one here.
Yeah, the whistling. Yep, that's him. Yep.
Cool. And it is a small grapple. Yep, go for it, please. And what's the bonus, please?
Well, that's exactly what he rolled, which is 90. So 90 plus 90.
90 plus 90. 4 in an A.
So because he got a crit that wasn't a tiny, he then gets that extra crit, I believe, so that works.
Okay.
So that'd be two A crits, is that right?
I don't know, Pete. You're telling me.
Yes. So he gets the one from the attack, but the nature of the attack is that once it's grappled, it also does an additional crush crit. In this case, another A.
Okay. Roll the crit, please.
46.
Okay. The I'm not quite sure how a 2-inch thing does this. I still haven't reconciled.
It's gravity.
It's gravity. Okay. So the whistling kind of hits it in the hip. Another 3 hits. And if you'd like, again for the umpteenth time, I'm going to have one more look at these rules because that just sounds weird, but that's okay. We're going to go with it this time. It's a crush crit as well. Is that right?
Well, let me check the table. Yes, crush.
Okay, roll an A crush, please.
80.
80.
Yep.
Wallop. You think that if this foe had a shield, it would have been broken, but because it doesn't have a shield, there's a horrible kind of crunching noise, and it's right, the hip area that you grabbed appears to be horribly mangled. That's somewhat immaterial, as this thing just yelps in pain, kind of gives this kind of sad kind of moan, and just collapses to the ground and doesn't move anymore.
Oh, whistling.
That's killed.
Hey!
That is killed 4th level,
Cool.
and that definitely involves a
It does, absolutely.
And
Oh.
and definitely
Yo, one more.
nice work, Pete. Nice work.
Second.
Cool. That is the end of your round. Next up is Tanya. You've just nipped around the corner. You're here. What do you do?
So I've got -10 to all my actions.
Correct.
Can I can't remember where I am in the order of things in terms of loading and firing, but I assume I couldn't poke my head around there and fire and come back again in one round.
Pretty sure you shot last round.
Right.
So
Okay. So I'll have a reloading one then.
Or you could fire at a penalty. Top of my head, what is the penalty of firing a bow in one round? To aim and fire a longbow is -25. Load and fire in a round.
Yeah, do it. Can I do that and yank myself back around the corner?
Yes.
I'll do that then.
Cool. Step around the corner, find a target. Boom. You'll have -35 to the shot because of the fact you're now up to your knees. And you're shooting at this last one here. It's flank onto you. Give me a roll, please.
Ah, balls. 12.
Hang a sec.
Rubbish roll. Plus 12. Sorry, 12.
Just 1 second. Hang on. I've just messed up my software. There we go. 10. Yep. Versus that one. Attack. It is going to be a flank attack. It was a 12.
Plus 101.
Plus 101. -35.
Yeah.
Full activity is -30. That's. However, it's really not moving as fast as it should. And that's just a critical. That's 9 in an A puncture.
Wow.
Yep, amazing.
That's amazing. All right, here we go. Six. Go.
Six. By the way, not that your character would know this, but it was stunned, which does help.
Right, yes.
1 hit point. So not a particularly deathly critical result. However, it was enough.
No way.
And this thing goes down.
Shit. Wow. Okay. Quite.
Next up, Demos.
Oh, sorry, Chris. What killed what?
Killed fourth.
Cool. Thanks.
Yep. No worries. Demos, you are standing on the edge of this horrible pit. Etienne's behind you, rummaging around one-handedly for a torch, and all of a sudden there's this horrible cranking noise, and you see this thing kind of rumble and vibrate below and shake violently. Had someone been in there, what would have happened to them? You really don't want to think. It's 20 foot down. You're feeling a little bit close to the edge. What do you do, Demos?
Well, it looks rather dark in there, so I don't know if he's too keen to pop his head over and have a look. Not a huge fan of the dark, so what would he do? What would you do, Demos? Do they know what kind of set the pit off in terms of why it started thrashing about?
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't.
he could maybe suggest to maybe slightly put the torchlight towards the pit without going too close. Just not actually stepping in. He's quite long, so maybe he just he just kind of leans in with the light rather than.
So check the recording on this. You'll see the GM kind of doing what he thinks that we definitely should put cameras on. You'll see the GM kind of leaning over with a lantern, kind of peering down into the darkness and the horror below. Okay. There is definitely blood down there. Fresh blood.
Okay.
Yep, definitely.
Would he would try and call out to see if Askel's there, because they are looking for Askel, so he would probably call out to Askel.
Actually, this is a really good. Yes. Yeah. Okay. He yells out. No response. Anything else?
No, I don't know if he, because I think he'd be a bit wary going in there, so I don't know if he would go in, but I don't think he'd want to leave yet. He'd want to discuss what to do.
Okay, sure thing. Cool.
Go on, chat.
Yeah.
Last up is Severin. Severin, you've seen the last of these horrible things. We'll just go into kind of point of view modes. Severin, that's you. You've seen down the corridor. The last of these two things has just been skewered from Tanya, who has stepped out here and shot. What do you do?
I think he'll call out and say, "Is everybody okay?" and then seek to group the party together.
Okay. And right about now, we'll come out of combat rounds. And oops, there we go. Cool. Okay, so Severin kind of says to everybody, "Hey, let's hustle up." Does anybody not come down towards Severin? It's probably a good way of describing it. Or does anybody in this immediate area? So that's Jadar, Mithan, Kiros, Grey, kind of anybody else in this immediate area. Basically everybody except for Etienne and Demos.
I think Keros would want to keep Grey fairly still in order to cast the healing.
Are you going to cast the healing? Go for it.
Can I do that now?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I want to do the cauterize.
Go for it.
Which is a level 6. Okay.
Level 6. You've prepared for 1 round. Not that you need to, but you can. You have prepared.
And I've got my thing. I've got my special thing.
No. Sorry, you haven't prepared actually, because
No, I haven't. But I've got my thing, so it's 0.
Correct. Give me your roll, please.
And I'm waving and singing and dancing and hopping on one leg for extra points and
plus 15.
Maybe blowing kisses.
Maybe blowing kisses. Maybe blowing kisses. Give me your roll, please. Just don't roll a 1 or a 2.
I rolled a 93.
You're on fire tonight.
Yeah, it's those kisses, honestly.
So success.
Simple creature.
So success. The healing spell goes off.
Huzzah!
What happens, Kiros?
So out of her hands comes tiny little cauterizing flames, like teeny tiny, like lots of flames. And she's obviously gazing into Grey's eyes and blushing, and the tiny little flames just sort of start cauterizing and healing the arrow wound.
And does he take damage? I think he does. Could you read out the description?
I don't know. Do you think he takes damage?
Let's find out.
Okay, let me. I wouldn't have thought so. Let's have a little look.
She gets it better.
Oh, she could kiss it better. Okay, so cauterize level 6. It's an F. So what's that?
Or spell.
Okay. Stops bleeding by burning tissue closed. Target takes 1 hit point per point of bleeding. Target also gains scar tissue with size based on size of wound cauterized. When this spell is cast on a target for any purpose other than stopping bleeding, the target will take 1. Oh, well, we're not doing that.
So you took 3 for that round normally, plus another 3. Gray, the bad news is you're on 98 hits out of your normal 117. The good news is with a sizzle, and some a sizzle, and a healing spell from Kiros, your arm is now stopping bleeding. Has stopped bleeding, I should say.
Thank you, Keros.
And with
It
that,
says?
Good. Yeah, gruntingly.
does anybody else want to do anything before you kind of congregate to discuss what next? Going once? Going twice?
It'd just be Jada would be heading up to Grey as well to lay her hands on him and provide additional healing after Euros is done.
He is a very attractive half-elf, so yeah, it's understandable you want to lay hands on him. Yeah, what do you do?
Just find the correct spell. She's not bleeding. It is.
Hi from Keros, by the way.
Bit of a wink.
What was that from Kiros?
Side eye.
Side eye. She's not happy.
You know, ruining the moment.
Well, I thought Kiros liked Etienne.
Well, I mean, who knows these days? I mean, she's just surrounded.
So we'll say this is kind of taking place as you kind of collectively limp down towards your companions. Afsoon, who's kind of shaking, looking nervous, comes up and joins you just while Askel is finding that. And the pussycat also comes up and seems to be quite happy with the proceedings.
But you want Jada to...
Yeah,
roll.
what's Jada doing, please?
He is going to just to cast Healing 1.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, she could do it. I could cast Healing 5. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
Yep.
Overcast, she's 5th level.
Jada is 6.
Yeah, she's 6. Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. You want to roll?
Yeah, please.
Okay. She got 47.
Mm-hmm. Fair to say she's prepared, or happy to say she's prepared. The spell's successful. The spell goes off.
And that is 5 to 50 hits healed.
Give me a roll, please.
was the spell?
7.
Oh, 7.
So the 5 is 5 to 50. That's what 5 is not level 5.
The spell.
Yes.
The spell is level 7.
Mhm. Yes.
Oh, so she is overcast. Sorry, she is overcasting. So,
Yes.
okay, so the overcasting was successful. Thank you, Pete. And now let's see if the spell goes off, please.
Alright, I'm being garbled. Alright. Oh, she did an 8.
An 8, however, with adequate prep and etc., that spell is successful. Yes. So 5 to 50 hits. Give me a roll, please. 5 to 50, and let's see how many hits Grey is healed.
Right. 25.
25. You were on 95, and with another 25. Grey, you are feeling great. Not only have you had a kiss on the cheek from Keros, but you're now at your max of 117 hits. You do still have a penalty from the injury in your arm, but you're no longer bleeding and you're on full hits.
And nice little wink from Jada too.
Ooh,
And a
he doesn't
wink,
know what to do.
and a wink from Jada. Is Grey getting
That's
embarrassed?
weird. I think he is. He grunts and snakes and doesn't know where to look.
Excellent. All right, we'll pause it there for 2 ticks. Back to Demos and Etienne. Etienne, fair to say by now you've got out a torch, you've used the lantern, which Demos is holding, and you and your spare hand, but of course you only have one hand. You now have both. You have a torch lit as well. So there's both a torch and a lantern here. You've seen this horrible kind of box thing shake. It shook for probably a good 30 seconds, and then it stopped. So Demos and Etienne, tell me what the two of you do.
Right. Demos. A cursory glance would suggest this is possibly not our specialist area.
No.
Um,
Not really a time for stabbiness.
No, or any kind of sort of holy magic or anything.
No.
I'm wondering whether it would be wise for one of us to observe this box and start counting, of which Etienne's already started doing, to get some idea of whether, if it will repeat its shivers, get an idea of how often it will repeat them. So Etienne's counting, and in between counting suggests that maybe Demos could nip back and tell the party that a calamity has occurred, or likely.
Demos agrees. Counting's not a strong suit. Is Etienne going to be okay if Demos takes the light with him?
Oh, we've got one each now. We've got one each. I've got a torch. You've got a lantern. Yeah.
Oh, great. He would definitely head back to the party.
Okay. Etienne, I'm not going to swap over with a lantern, but you now have light. You're standing here. You're kind of peering worryingly down this gaping 20-foot hole at your feet. Demos, you come back basically just as you see Jadar giving a wink to the rest of the party, and the rest of the group kind of assemble here. What do you do? What do you say?
He would say, he would describe the scene that he saw and describe the blood. There's a shaky room, and there's a pit, and there's blood, and he can't find Askel.
Okay. Have a chat. What do your characters do? Say.
I wonder whether we should. Also, we can't. All of us probably aren't useful at this point, but I wonder whether we should sort of a few of us remain back where we are, just keeping an eye on things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe a group stays where we're currently assembled, and then another group who might be more immediately useful go to the little room. What do you think?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. The skeletons and undead in the locked room want to check their progress. Because they're going to try and be break through the door.
Surely.
Nicholas would also offer if we wanted him to. I agree. My characters would agree with that plan. Do a split. But who do you want where?
I reckon the whistling would be quite helpful.
Cool. Yep.
Potentially Gray could be quite helpful if he can do some levitating.
Yeah, Jada would want to go if there's talk of blood. May need some healing.
Loves a bit of blood.
Oh. And someone with a really good perception. Niathanel, maybe? She's sneaky, climby, and perceptive.
77. I think Tanya would be the one, but it might take her slightly longer to get there. Yes, Tanya's got a better perception.
She will be at a negative, won't she?
True, but even then, I think she... Yeah.
Cool. So, Life is happy to say, guards, keeping an eye on the... Sorry?
Sorry, actually, Severin's got the best perception, but then his eyes probably aren't as good. So, no, okay. Tanya will go, and then Severin and Niathanel will remain. I guess probably sell that yet. It's not going to be much use in that room, and we're not going to be able to get in there.
But then and Leif will stay, Nicholas will go, and I think we should be being as quiet as we can to try and calm these skeletons, these things in the room down.
Yeah.
But so just Chorus goes as well, because got a lot of spells. And
Okay, so I've got
That's no bother.
So I've got Tanya going up to join. Who else goes?
Gray would go.
Yep.
Nicholas and Euros.
Yes. Nicholas. Jada. Nicholas with some light, thank you. And also just to reveal, as I should have done before, for some reason that portcullis didn't want to reveal. There we go. Is in here as well. Cool. And Keros as well. Okay, great. What do the rest of you do that are waiting around?
I think we'll have a few people. We'll be quiet for one.
Yep.
And then I'll have a few people keeping an eye on the door.
Yep.
Possibly we'll have one in case they do break through. Probably maybe one on either side of the door. I mean, Severin's happy to go one side.
Yep.
Demos would too, with his spear.
Cool.
So immediately either side of the door, those two. Well, actually, Demos can do his spiky thing from behind, can't he? Through the
Oh, yeah, true.
So maybe.
You want to be up the front?
Sorry.
Does Askel want to be on the other side of the door? I don't know who's steering around.
Askel's down a pit.
Oh, sorry. What am I saying? Of course. Leif can be on the other side. Sorry, no. Yeah, Leif can be on the other side. Awesome. But then is quite keen to. So she'd position herself sort of on the bed, and she'd want to keep checking the entrance way.
Yes, that's what I was
Arrow
saying.
knock, and she'd want to keep checking in the direction of the people who are watching the door, as well as the entrance way where the item is.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, done. All right.
Thank you.
So, waiting team does exactly do that. You settle down, you're quiet, and within probably 5 to 10 minutes, the sound of bashing on the door has ceased. Somewhat alarmingly, there is a small hole. You can see at the very top of that door, there's kind of bands there. Up around here, something sharp or solid has punctured and smashed basically just exactly where you can see that that pointer. That panel of wood.
Sorry, I can't see the pointer. Sorry.
Oh, maybe you can't. You can't see the pointer? Okay, just at the very top of the door, a small amount of wood has come in from the door. In other words, there has been some progress on whoever's on the other side kind of smashing it in, and a little bit of wood has come off. It's only a very small amount. Nothing you could get a weapon through, just like a couple of slivers. But there is now a small hole in the door. Very small. But after you remaining quiet, and there's certainly no more hissing, after you remaining quiet, the banging stops. Over at...
Sorry, question. How many nasties do we think are in there? Do we know?
More than 5.
Right.
Back to team Shaky Hole. You're now all assembled in this room. What do you do? Etienne, you've been counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And after that initial horrible shudder for about 30 seconds, and by the time your companions come and join you, which is, call it, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes afterwards, it hasn't moved again.
Okay, well, he'll continue to count in case that it does.
Mm-hmm. You're all assembled in the room, in the small room. What do you do?
Nicholas is happy to get the whistling to go down the hole.
Mm-hmm.
One thought, and it might be maybe someone who's got a light spell to attach that to the whistling, so that because Nicholas has only got a human sight, so if we could chuck a torch down, but if someone has got power points to spare and can cast a light spell on it, then it's got its own source of light, and he would be able to see better.
So the drone becomes a drone with a light.
More of a target for sure. But so does Heros have a light spell?
Yeah, just checking. So there's a hand opening and closing hand one, which is not going to be helpful. Projected light.
Light law. I've got the list as well. And
Oh, you've got light law? Yeah.
No.
Light. Oh.
Yeah, no, sorry. Lath has
Light
got
one?
a spell light law, but he's not there. But light one on light law is what I was thinking.
Yeah, the level 3.
Yeah.
So lights are 10 radius area to the point touched.
Yeah.
If this spell is cast onto a target, they get an RR. What's an RR?
Resistance roll.
What, sorry?
A resistance roll.
Oh, and if the RR exceeds the area of effect is centered on the point where they are standing, but will not move with them.
Yep.
So that's not going to be helpful, is it?
But if it fails?
If the target fails, the RR, the area of effect sticks to the target and will follow them until... so we want it to fail.
Yeah, can the whistling elect, or can Nicholas elect for the whistling to fail a resistance roll?
There is something about a willing target, I think. Let's check the rules, but I'm going to call it here that's a negative 50 to the resistance roll for a willing target.
Cool.
Hey, so have you got a straight light spell from the light law table?
I've got one projected light, which is beam of light, but it's from the palm. So you open and close your hand. Light one,
Light is the spell.
Yeah, light one, but I need to fail at it for it to do what we want it to do, correct?
Oh, no, the whistling or Nicholas, whoever is, gets a resistance roll, is it? So it needs to fail its resistance roll.
Right, sorry, just getting my head around that. If the RR, so we don't want it to succeed.
But
So if the RR resistance roll succeeds, the area of effect is centered on the point where they are standing but will not move with them. So the resistance roll needs to fail.
Correct.
It's a bit like imagine if you wanted to cast it on a bow because you wanted them to be lit up everywhere so everyone would shoot at them. You know, if you were casting that in the opponent,
I see.
They'd get a chance to resist your spell sticking to them.
Oh, I understand now. Thank you.
But Chris is saying that if we say the whistling is willing, then we can get a negative 50 to the resistance roll, which makes it a lot more likely it's going to fail.
Oh, great. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So give me a roll, Keros, and hope for a low number.
Okie dokie, 93, which I seem to be rolling.
Another 93? I think you've rolled...
No. Of them, I think.
I think you've rolled 3 of those. No, you need 12. There you go. That's a nice roll.
Oh, 12.
Yep. That's a very nice... You're rolling spectacularly well tonight. You actually wanted to roll low. So the whistling gets a 65 plus a 50 to its resistance roll. It's got to roll 115 to succeed. The GM's going to roll for it. It's rolled off the desk, which is annoying. We'll take that. We'll take this roll. There's the 64. There is now light attached to this thing. Keros, well done. That was successful.
Huzzah.
So the whistling now has light attached to it. It is basically a mini drone with light on it. What do you do, please?
End it down the hole.
Cool. So
and Nicholas has reported everything he sees. So yeah.
Right. So looking down the hole, you can see that image that I shared before. you obviously can't see the machinery and all the rest in it, but yeah, it's a square kind of box room. Probably as the whistling goes down, it can probably see machinery and chains and stuff, which you're guessing are probably the levers to make this thing move. Inside this horrible square box, yeah, you scan it now with a lot of light, with ample light to see, and yeah, there's spikes everywhere. So there's razor sharp spikes on the floor, on the ceiling, on the side, etc. Had somebody been trapped in here, as I said earlier on, had somebody been trapped in here and they've been bounced around, it would have been bad, very very bad. There is a not insignificant amount of blood on the floor as well. However, if you'd like to try a perception roll, at first glance, nothing that you can see. Nicholas, you want to try a perception roll, please?
It's 35.
That'll be masked.
Cool. Dice rolls. That was a 35. Cool. And what's Nicholas's perception, please? He definitely doesn't have a negative because of the light. There's ample light. Cool. Plus 33.
Cool. Yeah, Nicholas, you scan this room. The whistling basically goes all the way around here. How long does the whistling last, by the way? Just a quick question.
An hour.
An hour, sure. It's been well and truly less than an hour. Probably been a good 25 minutes, perhaps, all told. Look, you scan this probably for a good for a good couple of minutes. Nothing, absolutely nothing.
Can he see if that blood is fresh?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So he was definitely in here. Are there any? So sort of he can gather, and I suppose the group can discuss this all as well. I suppose we would, but it's obviously sort of we've seen it rocking around, so it does mean machinery. That does mean space around the box. Is there any gaps that the whistling can sneak through and go around the outside of the moving box to check underneath?
That's a good question. I'm just going to go up to the image that I shared because it's faster than doing it here. Yes, I mean it's a small space. However, the whistling is tiny. And if you go up and you find that image again up in the chat, yeah, there is space around it, and yeah, what is particularly weird, the whistling sees going underneath the box, however, is no sign of anything around the sides or up top or whatever. But it's been about 10 minutes now, and going underneath the box, the whistling sees through Nicholas's eyes, no perception roll required, the body of somebody kind of halfway out of the ground. So they're lying like face down, and it's just the weirdest looking thing. They're rising through water, but the water is actually the ground. You can't see exactly who it is, but certainly by the clothing and everything else, the equipment that you know reasonably well, the whistling would say it's Askel. So currently Askel, or Askel's body at least, is in between the bottom of that box and the very base.
How big is that space?
Sorry?
How big is the space?
Inches.
So he's going to start pushing against the bottom of the box.
You're not sure.
So the space between as it looks like in the picture, it's stone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. What do we think? So Nicholas would report that back to.
Can the Nicholas ascertain how it's how it's shaking. Like, I mean, is it a mechanical thing? And if it's mechanical, can it be disabled?
So can the whistling examine the fixings attach the box to the walls?
Perception roll, please.
57.
And again, that would be masked. Okay, and what's your bonus again, please, Pete?
33.
Yeah, it don't detect a lot. Again, going up to the image, what would you see? Yeah, you see some change. So you can see, no, you can't see my cursor, but you can see the drop that's come down, and there's a couple of kind of chains around, and there's a couple of levers that kind of would be involved in bouncing the thing around. But yeah, the whistling can't really, you can't make much more head or tail of it, I'm afraid, Pete.
That makes sense. Especially as it's so small, it sort of would have a really weird sort of perspective. Can I just double check though? So he's fallen down into this box and then seemed to have either gone through it or there's a trapdoor for him to get through the wooden floor. Correct?
Correct. Certainly from what the whistling can see, there's no visible wooden trapdoor at all. There's nothing. You've thoroughly scoured this box.
Oh, I'm concerned that once he's finished rising, because we're sort of familiar now with the sinking into the ground and rising up a bit now, aren't we? We're used to seeing that happen in our friends.
Mm-hmm.
But once he's finished doing his rising, if it's only inches, well, a human body is lying face down, is thicker than a few inches, so he's going to be sort of crushed against the bottom. I wonder if that's a problem.
Well, yes, the whole thing is a complete problem.
Right. Getting him out. Seems. I wonder. What were the problems we encountered when trying to pull ourselves out? Of sinking thing. I think there was nasty stuff we could have gotten far deeper in. I think from memory.
Correct. Let's just go with that.
Yeah. So I don't know that using magic to leave or levitate or anything like that amount would be good.
It's got to come out by its own.
So a portal's not going to be much use because that only lasts a few seconds.
No.
I'm just wondering, Jada might be wondering if there's some mechanism that resets it or activates it or deactivates it as well. So that might not be in this room, it could be in the room next door. Or
I don't know that we'd want to reactivate it though, would we?
No, but there might be a disarm it type. There must be something that to do that, to deactivate it, disarm it mechanism. Just thinking, could be something in the other room maybe, or switch lever, or there's a way to. No, how does the servicing agent get in there? Like, with Jada having no knowledge of mechanical things, but yeah, just thought there could be something else, and maybe we have, maybe in the next room, but we'd need someone to get across fly across or levitate across the pit side.
I agree. Do we want someone to get onto that? Yep. Someone willing to go and investigate that next door?
Sure. I don't know how you levitate someone sunk into the floor, though. That's the trouble.
Not Askel, but someone.
No. Tanya. Or do we try and open the portcullis?
To what end?
Well, just to walk. No, I suppose no point.
But can't there some characters fly? Couldn't they briefly just fly?
Yeah, how are we doing? Have we got enough PowerPoints? How are we going?
James
Niathanel's out.
James is just going to take a break. Keep chatting, guys.
Leif's still got 24 and a fly spell, and he can do fly. But I think Gray's much the same. But Leif's got 24, and fly spell is
3.
Yeah.
Gray hasn't actually used too much magic. I think he's probably, I can't remember exactly, but he's probably got like 7 or so points.
He's done a few sleep spells, isn't he?
Yeah, he's done 2 sleep spells, but I think they're only level 1.
So I reckon it's a great idea to go and investigate the other room, perhaps while other people try and work on a way to disable it as well.
Yeah.
Or if
Yeah,
there's
it's not.
if there's enough debris in the room, I don't know if it's anything useful or strong. You could use that as a plank or something. I don't know.
Oh, do you just walk across? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There was some debris there. I don't think it's very big, but gee, you might be able to. Because there's that well on the other side. I don't know whether is the well part takes you down to access it, like or something.
Well, I think a fly spell would be worth it then to go investigate down the. So maybe 2 people going across. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that Tanya wouldn't mind, but obviously she's sunk into the floor. That's the trouble.
Oh yes, yeah.
Was she?
Well, she's not here, but
Well, yeah.
Do we send someone back just to go and grab Niathanel? And
Jim's back. I mean, you're talking about from there to there, guys. It's it's a matter of it's not far back. Is kind of my point.
What's not far back?
Oh, to the other. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
But there's a bit of debris in the room. Was it anything of significance, like planks or table, or?
There's a bit of wood around.
Nothing to bridge the gap.
Yeah, give me a roll, anything 10% or under, and it'll be long enough to go across.
Sick.
There's not most of it's not. Most of it's just boxes, small boxes and things. But maybe if you're lucky. No. It's just you can see actually on the edge of the screen. Just here, there's kind of a crate. It's mostly that kind of stuff. Just kind of broken down boxes, debris, etc. Okay, what does Team Pit do, please?
You get to pop a door up its hinges.
Not true. I reckon we just fly 2 people to go over there, personally.
Yeah, Gray's got a pretty good sight. You can probably see.
Yeah, I mean, if someone goes to get Niathanel, she'd be happy to do it if she's got pretty good perception.
Okay, cool. Let's move things along, guys. What happens?
Yeah, Jada can wander up and get Niathanel.
Yep, done. Niathanel, you're now back. You're now here. What happens?
Yeah.
Gray can cast fly on Niathanel. Can she fly on her own?
She's pretty good at it. She uses acrobatics.
Oh, perfect. Let's go fly.
But she needs a fly spell, though.
Oh yeah, I need to fly. I can't do it myself. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll cast that. To level 3.
Prepare for the required amount of time. Touching if you want to touch, plus 30 for an additional. Yep, give me a roll.
In a good way.
A little bit of hand waving.
But yeah, in a good way. But so just out of interest, plus 10 for yelling, plus 5 for gesticulation, which is plus 15, plus 30 for touching, in a good way, plus 20 for 4 rounds preparation already gives you a plus 65. Right. The only way you can fail is if you roll a 0-1 or a 0-2.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Try not to do that. Oh no, a 50.
What's that?
I rolled a 50.
That's all right.
50.
No, 50's not great.
Oh, no, it isn't.
50.
Well, it could be. Hopefully it's just some rubbers.
Can you give me a roll, please, Gray?
Yep.
Hope something good.
43.
43.
Maybe a pig.
A round of crest sandwiches appears.
So all of a sudden, Gray, you're standing here, and on the other side of the wall, bursting out through here, you can all see it kind of peering through here. This just suddenly there's kind of a blink and a kind of just this really weird sound. And right here is this massive, like, I don't know, 8-9 foot tall chicken.
Oh.
But on its back is this, you think, what appears to be a, well, there's a rider on this thing's back, and the rider is clearly of orcish descent. It's a female orc, yeah, this thing is utterly kind of bemused and just kind of stares around you and then says in Westron, "Where in the nine hells is this? What is this place? Speak! Speak! What is this place? Where am I? What's going on?"
Well, Niathanel will say, difficult to say. You're between worlds, but be calm. You're amongst friends here.
Be calm? What do you mean, be calm? I serve the one true chicken, a chicken the size of a mountain with powers beyond imagining. I was on a noble quest for my deity, and I just simply prayed and closed my eyes, and now I find myself here. What in God's name is this place? Who are you people? What's going on?
Well, we're adventurers, and we're trying to get out of this place, so maybe stick by us and we'll see if we can get out.
And with that, this monstrous chicken and this terrified-looking half-orc cleric disappear.
All right.
Freaks.
I thought we'd get chicken on the menu.
Enough.
It wasn't a
An omelette.
500 foot tall pillar of flame that was about to devour you, so, consider yourself lucky. It was a 50 plus 65. The spell is successful.
Wonderful.
So, with a successful conjuring spell, or fly spell, Niathanel, you can now fly. What do you do?
Well, I think first thing Tenia's going to do is there a bit of detritus or something, or maybe Demos's spear, if Demos is up for it, just to sort of wave it over the top of the pit.
Okay.
If Demos is keen. Just to check there's no kind of anything above the pit that triggers it as you pass in the space above it.
Is Demos keen?
Yeah.
Okay. Demos, you wave your spear over the pit. Nothing happens. I'd just like to check. We've got both Jadar and Keros here. Anything I should know from either Jadar or Keros?
No, just waiting and watching.
Okay.
If needed.
Okay.
Ready, ice walls and so on.
Okay, cool. And Jadar? Nope, that's you, Anthony.
Sorry, no. Just doing that with my son. Distracted. No, I think Jada just watching, just standing by.
Cool. Okay. So, Niathanel, you've seen the spearman Demos wave the spear over the pit. Nothing happens. What do you do?
Well, she'd like to fly, but she's going to take a great deal of care over it. So, what she's going to do is she's going to line up from where she is. She's got a fair distance to travel before she travels over the pit.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to fly and already set her alignment to fly dead through the door space
Mm-hmm.
at a cruising altitude of 4 foot or something, and remain on that trajectory. So there's just no margin for error, really, that she's already sorted out her direction before she goes through and has time to correct it in plenty of time before she hits the door space.
Cool. Look, it's a relatively simple thing to do. You're not under any stress or any particular pressure. That said, however, I'd just like a routine fly maneuver. It's plus 50.
5.
5. Roll again, please.
This is what I prepared. 85.
Ouch.
Well, kind of. Depends when she starts up, right?
Yeah, sure. Sure thing.
Because the whole point is that she wants to do the complicated bit before she gets to the door.
Okay. 85. What's her flying, which is, what do we say, acrobatics?
Yeah. Plus 92.
Plus 7. Even with a very poor roll like that, and she kind of almost semi-cocks it up. However, it's enough. It's enough. And she manages to glide through the doorway. She nearly hits the side of the doorway, but doesn't quite. And she's now in this room.
Okay. She would like to. Can she have some light, please?
I don't know. I'm showing you probably what she can see.
No, I'm asking. I think someone could just chuck a torch over.
Yep.
Or unless else is coming in. Was somebody else coming in?
Can fly with the
Oh, the drone. Yes, bring the drone in.
handy drone.
Okay.
Is that all right, Nicholas?
Yes, happy.
Okay.
But I think
So-
we will need your own source of light. It's great Gray should bring a lantern. Yeah. Torch.
Yes. And then once Gray's in there, I think they'd like to do a full check of the room, please.
Mm-hmm.
Perception. I guess interested in mechanisms, any other roof or floor tiles, secret passages, anything that's looking a bit wrong.
Mm-hmm. Sure thing.
All around the room.
I'll say, what's Gray doing at this time?
He would also, I guess, be casting a fly spell on him too.
Give me a roll.
So that he can fly.
Mm-hmm.
3.
Oh! It's not a failure. The spell doesn't fail because you had plus. Oh, hang on. He's got negative 15 to his roll. So hang on. Plus 10 for shouting. Plus 5 for gesticulating. Plus 20.
He's touching himself.
Oh, that's a good point. True, he doesn't. That actually doesn't apply here, and it's a little bit naughty. Negative 15. However, the spell is successful. It wasn't a 1 or a 2. The spell is successful. Gray is now flying. Where are you, Gray? Gray. Whoops, there we go. Gray, so you're now floating in this room as well. Oh, no, sorry, I'd like you to make a routine agility check, or if you've got acrobatics or anything like that, go for it. Otherwise, just simply agility to fly through and just not touch any of the doorways.
Got acrobatics, I think. It's plus 26.
Give me a roll.
39.
39 plus 26 is a 65. Perfect. Fine. It was a simple thing to do. He just needed to fly through the doorway without touching anything. That was his aim. He's now safely inside the room,
Nice.
kind of floating around. And obviously, Nicholas, you aren't there, but you are there to provide light. Niathanel, you're having a look around. I'm going to say probably 2 perception rolls to cover this room. Give me 2 master perception rolls, please. I'll ask the same from Gray if you're wanting to do the same.
Definitely.
Got a 6.
Mm-hmm. Could be very good, of course.
Could be.
Yep. And what's
And a
yours?
21 is the second one, and her perception is 68.
68, correct. Okay. Yes.
Cool.
And we'll do Gray as well.
63 and 18. And his general perception is 37.
37. Cool. And then the second roll. Oh, no, I said that, yeah, within reason, 1 person checking the room. So, we'll just leave it at those 3 rolls. The 2 of you kind of float around and wander around. Yes, indeed. There is a well that you can see here. And just in general, there's just a lot of kind of junk kind of lying around. And I'll put up some images as well. There's a short sword lying quite close to the well. It's quite badly notched. There's a skeleton in here. It looks like potentially a human skeleton, hard to say. There's quite a lot more of kind of wooden waste, kind of bits of, and you can see the skeleton. You can see the skeleton kind of here. Oops. My pardon. Here. Yeah, bits of again, kind of bits of wooden boxes and yeah, just kind of trash, garbage, whatever you want to call it, lying around. There's a candelabra lying over here. You can see it there in the gloom. There's a box with a kind of a rag over the top of it here. There's the door that I mentioned here, and there's also a second door. I'll just take it kind of off map. You can kind of see it there. There's a doorway at least. Second door there, and of course the ever-present portcullis leading into this room here, the skull room. Other than that, there's some wood carving tools and some kind of strange dragon chess pieces, and like part of what appears to be like a wooden kind of flute instrument. I'll put the items into the chat. You search this pretty thoroughly between the 2 of you. You can't see any levers, anything sticking out of the wall. You can't notice anything that's untoward in terms of the floor or the ceiling or anything else at this stage. Some of those objects at least, are coming into the chat room now. Some of them at least. Here we go. And there we go.
Could Niathanel use a sword just to put the fabric aside on that box and just see if there's anything inside it, but
sure.
Using a sword?
Yep, she flicks it open. There's nothing in the crate.
And move the crate with the sword?
Done. Nothing happens.
Nicholas, would you be prepared to send the whistling down the well?
Sorry, hang on a sec. Gray, anything for you?
Could he just have a good sniff?
Yeah, sure. Give me a perception roll.
44.
So that'll be masked again. And his perception, you did tell me?
37.
Nothing particular that Gray smells here, other than just the strange kind of sulfury smell that seems to kind of predominate. Just quickly back to any other characters. Does anybody else want to do anything? Either Karos or Askel or Pete, any of your characters? Any action from anybody else? Anybody want to say, do, act, whatever?
Has Askel regained any consciousness yet? He was stunned 3 rounds, I believe.
Yep,
Oh.
he's at negative 38 hit points, which
Yeah.
means that it will take him a minimum of 38 hours to regain consciousness.
Right. Okay, so he does 2 times healing, which we forgot about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So half,
Maybe.
yeah, half that amount. Yep, sure. Great. Cool. It's still something like 15 hours. Yep. Anything else by either Jada or Keros or Pete, any of your characters?
Sorry, I've just taken a work call. Can I just find out where I am? Sorry.
Sure. So,
We missed about 10 minutes.
No problem. So some more investigation of this room. Keros is still
Yep.
here. Nothing
Okay.
has happened.
Okay, no, that's fine. Sorry for that.
That's all right.
Nicholas has a suggestion for Keros.
Mhm.
Wondering how many power points Keros has got left. Should need at least 6. But he's keen to make a portal, so that creates a 3 foot by 6 foot by 3 foot portal in any solid surface. Make a on the ground, make that size thing directly above where Askel is lying. So it's only going to last for 8 seconds. Sorry. Portal. 1 round per level. No, 80 seconds. So a minute and a bit. But still, I think that he is rising too slowly. So I don't think we'd use the portal to get Askel to rise into it and then through the floor. But I was wondering if we were to make that portal and then line the edges of the portal with detritus, with old weapons or anything that blocks those edges out. And then when the portal spell cancels, I don't know what would happen. So the material would come back, the floor, but then it would also be those other things in the same place. Those that would bind together and it wouldn't. I was hoping to make a weak point in the floor that we could bash through, if you know what I mean. What do people think about that? I suppose it would
So
just
she's
bind those
only-
together and-
I'm going to stop you there, Pete, and I'm going to say bonus points for some great ideas, and bonus points for some ideas points. However, right about now, it's been around 15. Not quite. It's been around about 8 or 9 minutes, and suddenly Demos, who's holding the lantern out, one of the lanterns out, and peering down the hole. Demos, I mean, you're all peering in, but Demos, you're the first one that spots it. Askel, certainly a body that you'd soon determine as Askel, slowly is rising up through the floor around these spikes. And after a minute or so, kind of rests. Like literally a minute or so, just kind of rests on the floor. Something about this, weirdly enough, there are lots of spikes down there, but somehow Askel's missed all of them except for one, which is bad. It looks like it's badly sliced his leg. But within like just a second or two of you seeing this, Demos, Askel's body is lying face down in the bottom of this box, managing miraculously somehow to avoid most of these spikes except for one in his leg.
Well, that makes it much easier.
Wonderful. Is the spike currently through his leg?
Not through, but it's certainly cut one of his legs. You can see that.
Okay, but he's not like stuck on it.
No.
Okay, right.
Can I suggest? Oh, damn. Oh,
Can anyone has got a levitate or a...
Yeah. Ray can levitate. Could we levitate him up and then just kind of like fly him out?
Yeah, like a drone, just
This is a great game for drones.
yeah. I reckon the ones who have seen this would let the 2 explorers in the other room know.
Sure. Yep, for sure. Okay, what happens?
Yeah, so I guess Gray, could we? Does he have to? You'd probably have to see him to be able to levitate him, wouldn't he?
Yes.
Can who's controlling the whistling? Can they direct Grey like easy left, up, easy right, up?
I guess we could fly kind of over the box hole, and so that we have a good view of him, and then just levitate him upwards as well.
Not to be a rules lawyer again, but if it's lofty bridge, levitation's within 10 foot.
Okay. How deep is that pit?
20.
Who wants to get into the
Someone's
box?
going to fly in.
Oh no. Okay, so I guess Gray's going to have to go in there.
Could you not have one of the other, obviously the others flew, can they not do controlled flight, like, basically just do like a needle, and go down, Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movie 1 styles, down, not touch the floor.
I think the levitate's a better idea. There's less room for error.
Yeah.
Um,
Then you won't have 2 people in there as well.
Well, he'd have to get in there to get close enough to do the...
He's not on the... If it's 20 foot down, though, Askel's obviously a little bit higher, so it's slightly less. I guess maybe it'd be good to just do the whole spear in the box thing, just in case there's some sort of weird... something that's in the airspace above it that's setting it off. I don't know. But it'd be dreadful if it went for a shake when you got in there. So
yeah,
is it worth just putting a prod in there first? Just to make sure nothing horrible happens?
Yeah, maybe we can borrow Demos's spear and just kind of like poke it in there.
Okay, you do that.
Yep.
Poke the spear down, Demos. Nothing happens.
Okay, cool. So he's 20 foot down, did you say?
Yes.
Okay.
His gear and weapons, etc., miraculously, well, actually, probably it would have still been on him. He probably would have lost whatever lantern he was carrying or light he was carrying, but his gear, his sword, etc., appears to be on his side.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess Grey can fly into the box.
First.
Head first, and just kind of with his arms kind of stretched outwards, so that it doesn't have to maneuver too much, like a pin dropping in.
All right. I'm gonna say, yep, sure. I'm gonna say, Grey, this is a flying through the doorway was a routine. This is a bit harder and a bit more nerve-wracking, but it's not too hard. I'm going to say it's an easy either agility or fly or acrobatics, your call, to make it. And it's going to be an all or nothing actually this time. So you either succeed or you fail it going through.
Right, great. His agility is plus 20, but his acrobatics is a bit more, I think. So where we go with acrobatics, which is his acrobatics is plus 50.
Go for it. Don't roll a fumble.
93.
93, nice. Plus 50, you said?
Yes.
143. That's 120. Grey, you are graceful. You're utterly graceful. You basically do a little like pirouette, and you spin, and just for dramatic effect, you kind of dive down. You're kind of showing off a little bit, but you dive down into this hole. I'm going to say there's ample light around. It's pretty nerve-wracking going down into this box. There are spikes, razor-sharp spikes. Now, you weren't, of course, none of you were actually here to actually hear what happened. But, in your mind's eye, you could almost imagine something like that happening. And it's quite uncomfortable, you heading in there. But yes, you fly down, you're perfectly fine, and you can basically operate as low or as high as you wish.
Right. I guess he would get Might be just better just to fly down and then kind of grab him rather than levitate him up, I guess, because then you can control him a bit more.
I think if he's weightless, he's going to be easy to deal with, right?
Actually, yeah, that's true. So he would fly down to about 10 foot,
Done.
and then cast levitate.
Sure thing. Don't fail the spell.
Yes.
Give me a roll.
28.
98. I'd say roll again, but you really can't get any better than that. The spell's successful. What happens?
He floats up slowly to Gray's open arms, and Gray kind of holds onto him, and they slowly float up and out of the box.
I'm going to say, firstly, Askel is out of the box with his equipment. He's completely unconscious. He's covered in blood. He's in a pretty bad shape, but he's out. Well done.
Ooh. Blows a little kiss to Keros as he comes up.
Excellent. There we go, Kate.
A little year of Super Grey.
Kisses. Kisses.
All right. Just to advance things on a little bit, guys. I'm fair to say people will do some healing on Grey. Walk me through it. Tell me what your characters would do. If your characters aren't particularly actively involved in what's going to happen next, let me know. I'm just going to run around each player, and you tell me what your characters are up to. So, Graham, you've got 4 whole characters. What are you doing in the next number of minutes?
Question: is there a space above the portcullis into the main room?
No.
Okay. I thought if the whistling is not being used, Niathanel wonders whether Nicholas might fly down the well.
Okay.
Another.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And what do your characters do? So you make that suggestion. Sure thing. What do you?
Yeah. Then depending on what Niathanel probably. Well, take some advice whether she should fly back or just stay where she is. I guess it depends what our next plan is, really. Well, I think she'll fly back, actually. I think we probably need to regroup and chat. She'll just fly back to the group.
Okay. So, that's not what was meant to happen. Okay, she's flown back. Grey is back. Cool. And your other 3 characters, please.
Severin and is just keeping an eye on things in there, just make sure nothing untoward happens.
Mm-hmm.
Etienne not doing much. Tenya also. I think they're just ready to regroup and have a chat, to be honest.
Sounds good. Cool. I guess is anybody other than regrouping and having a chat and healing, and we'll come to healing in a second, is anybody else doing anything I should know about? And once.
Yep. Yeah. So Nicholas is happy to have the whistling go down the well, but he would also, with consultation with the group, and then perhaps we're going to chat about this, but maybe we'd want to do this before we chat. Have the whistling explore, now that it's lit, it can explore the beyond the portcullis bits into the other parts of the complex.
Sure.
A group agrees. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. And then we earn some healing on poor unconscious Askel. Other than those 2 activities, is anybody else doing anything, saying anything? I don't want to cramp anybody's style, but I also just want to move things on. So please feel free to say if you're doing anything.
Just check what side. So you brought Askel out. What side did you plonk him on? The well side or the non-well side?
He's not where the well is. He's in the little. I'd fly him out and then take him to that room where everyone is.
All right. Yeah.
Yep. To safety.
To safety. All right. Cool. All right. Keros doing anything I should know about? Going once.
Oh,
Keros. Oops.
sorry, that's my very delayed iPad.
No problem.
I mean, she hasn't got a lot of healing spells, but she'd be available for what she has got to use if needed, but she's not really the healer.
Okay, sure thing. Cool. All right. So first things first. I'm gonna just talk you through a bit more exploration. So Whistling, you head down the well. After quite some time, it hits water. You've thoroughly checked on the way down. There's nothing off to either side. There's no tunnels that go off to either side. There's nothing down there. And I'm going to say no requirements for perception rolls. You then send the Whistling out for a bit more exploration. This is simultaneously while Askel is being healed. And you come. So you've explored everything you can in this area. This area is now thoroughly checked. This one here. You're in this area, and here, and here. You're back probably in the skull room, I'm suggesting. Where does the Whistling fly, please, Pete?
Oh, it's got I think Nicholas would be. Sorry. The point is, I'm just saying Nicholas is because it's only got a range of 100 foot from him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'd be in the
100 foot, just to give you a sense, is from there. That's 30. That's 60. That's 78.
Okay, that's a decent amount.
So that's 100, kind of there. So if he was, for example, here, he could see kind of that.
Yeah, he'll start off from being there and maybe move about. Yep. So up that way.
Where does he go?
Through those portcullises.
Which one?
The one on the left.
Cool. So he heads through, and the first thing he sees is water. There's a room in here, and it's got a pool in it. He flies the Whistling around. It's got some broken pottery. Describe what else he sees in a second, but yeah, some arrows that he sees. I'll talk you through everything he sees in a second. Some stairs going down here into the blackness. Up here, oops, and along here, small broken pottery, etc. And here, oops, a daisy. There's a passageway that goes up in this direction. You can see it there. Yep. So in through here, there's this pool. And then lastly, there's a door down here. So a room with a pool. I'll just talk you through a little bit more of what you see. Just 1 second. What if I could find it? There we go.
Actually, sorry, just a note. I think that the light spell would have run out, so he'd need someone to renew it.
Could someone do that, please? Thank you, and thank you for checking.
I can do that.
Yep, give me a roll.
Maybe. Sorry, hang on. Maybe not. It's 10 minutes per level. No, maybe not.
Okay.
So that's an hour 20. Sorry, my bad.
Okay. So in this room again, there's some more of this kind of horrible, not much, but a little bit of this horrible kind of black mold and slime and just horribleness kind of creeping up through here. There's the water here, which looks relatively clean. There's a quiver over here and what looks like some arrows, maybe for a longbow or a short bow or a composite bow. You're not sure. Some look to be intact, some are not, and some other kind of stuff around. And I'll put some items in the chat in a second. Just hold the phone. Here we go. Yeah, so again, kind of mold and slime and bits and bobs up kind of to the north of that, and then that's kind of what you see in here. We'll come back to exploring either further down the stairs if you wish, or around that corner if you wish, or this doorway if you wish. In a second, you tell me what the Whistling wants to do. So we've got one more bit of exploration. We can either continue further here, or we can try out another portcullis, and then we're going to go to some healing.
Yep, let's do the other portcullis. Thank you.
Sure thing. So comes into the other portcullis, and there's it's quite a narrow corridor that he can see, again via this really irritating drone. There's a passageway that goes off to the side there, off to the right. As you go further along the passage, whose bright idea was it to put a bloody light on the bloody drone? You come to this area, the passage kind of broadens out a little bit more, and you come to a set of double doors here. And that's pretty much it. So a passage that comes down, broadens out, is initially 5 foot, and your Whistling can actually see around the corner, and you see into the pool room there. But that's it for this area.
Oh,
but there is this this passage going off to the side like that. And again, there's quite a lot. You can see it on the ground actually. Not a lot in through here, but you can see a bit more of it here. This kind of horrible, slimy, black mold. So there we go. You've kind of explored that much. Let me just hang on. Let me just because I think it's kind of fun. Let's just do this. We can. And go down and in through here, through the through the corridor. And if we spin around, you can see the pool room just beyond, and then there's Nicholas with his light, and this passageway that goes up there to somewhere. You can investigate a bit further if you wish in a second, and then back into your now quite familiar skull room.
Yep, definitely keen to keep investigating, but it's healing time, is it?
It is healing time. What happens? So you've got an unconscious, miserable, punctured, no longer bleeding, but pretty miserable looking Askel on the ground. What happens? Nothing happens. Okay, back to investigation if you like. Okay. No takers? Okay.
Yes, sorry, sure, but maybe is Jada not here?
Oh, really?
I don't know. I'm assuming so. I'm sure she would be healing them. But maybe Askel's got busy. Anthony's got busy, maybe.
Anthony's muted, yes. Well,
Sorry.
That's right.
But
You're right. You're right, mate.
Did I miss the opportunity to do some healing with Jada?
Yes. Not missed opportunity, but Askel's body is now recovered. He is comatose here. What happens?
My first thing is do some diagnostics.
Yeah, sure thing. Give me a roll, please.
Yeah. No. 83.
Nice. What's her diagnostics, please?
Oh. Sick. Yeah. On Dad, don't make wait. Fresh. Ignore them. Sorry, mistakes. Plus 75.
Wow. Yeah. So, Jadar, by the light of Demos's lantern, you have a very good kind of poke and prod around this poor man. He's looking pretty messed up. Mainly, just general damage and smashed around. So you think in general, in probably gain terms, he just needs some health. In other words, he just needs some time to recover. In other words, concussion damage, so hit points. He's definitely lacking in that. But yeah, further investigation, the gouge to his leg looks pretty severe, and you can't be absolutely sure, but your knowledge of anatomy is good enough to tell you that this blade, even though it didn't actually go through his leg, like it didn't actually puncture all the way through his leg, it definitely inflicted a pretty deep cut, and you would suspect there's some pretty bad tendon damage there. And he's going to have some trouble probably walking or moving. At the moment, of course, the priority is he's unconscious. But yeah, he's got a pretty messed up leg, and tendon is probably the main thing. What happens?
All right, I'm just scanning through healing spells.
Should we head back to more exploration, perhaps?
Yes. Let me peruse some spells.
Cool. Pete, with your very annoying, I'm really cursing, allowing you this damn spell. What does Nicholas do, please?
Yeah, well, he would be. I assume he's narrating what he's seeing to whoever's around.
Sure.
So really happy to take direction from other people if they have a preference. But I reckon we sort of wanted to do the whole thing. May as well go up that corridor to where he is now, to the right.
So he's starting down here, yeah?
Yep, correct.
Okay, cool. What I'm going to do is GM is going to flip it off the recording, and then I'm going to remove the view for you guys and just do a little bit of... In the trade, it's called GM Jiggery Pokery, and I'll just do a little bit of sketching things out a little bit. Okay, cool. All right. And any other actions from anybody else I should be aware of? No? Keros doing anything? Gray, Severin, anybody else?
Not at this moment.
Karis would want to help, but she hasn't got a lot of healing stuff, hit points and so on, but she'll wait to be instructed if need be.
Okay. Severin, anybody else?
I think we're kind of staying quiet on guard, but I guess Tanya's interested to know what we do next. I'm interested to hear what Nicholas is doing, and so she's listening to that, but also wondering whether we need to rest or keep going.
Okay. Cool. All right. So.
Mithan will, once she hears that Askel's out, for what it's worth, she'll go and cast disease purification and poison purification on him.
Okay. Give me a couple of rolls, please.
So with all prep and touching and all that stuff.
Sure thing.
18 and 43.
Okay. Both spells are successful. So hang on. Ooh. So that was 2 healing spells, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Cool. So first one. And then the second one, kind of a naturey, kind of lack of disease one. go.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yep.
Nice one. All right. Cool. So I'm going to give us back the map again. And first of all, I'm going to give you guys back the map. And here we go. Hopefully you can see that. And I'll just put it back on the recording. Yes, there we go. Cool. So, Nicholas, yeah, you were looking down this corridor here, and you saw the double doors at the end, and then you saw this little alcove go around here, and you're into this room. Through here, you come up against yet another of these accursed portcullises, and without a doubt, the mold and the slime and the stuff here is getting a lot more pronounced, like significantly more pronounced. And you can see it there, just everywhere. It's thick and putrid. You can almost see spores of it kind of floating through the air. There's a lot more of it there. Down this way, as the whistling continues on, it's still within range. There's kind of a box, a pile of kind of rubbish and junk and just detritus and all the rest. And then through here, you actually come into an area that you recognize somewhat, and you actually find yourself back here, where the creatures were running out. So that there links up to here, and you can see there where the whispering initially came in. It came down to these double doors here, connected up to the room with the pool here, and then this way, yeah, down into the gloom and the ever-present kind of just filth of this slime and horrible mold and fungus. And then coming this way, you're back into this room, or this area here, which you recognize from seeing it previously from the skull room. A bit more information here. What can you see in this area? A lot more of this horrible mold and black fungus, and yeah, another passageway which goes down there.
We've still got time. We want to check that passageway.
All right, I think it probably is Jadar time, so we'll
Cool.
head back and see what Jadar does. But yeah, you've now got a bit more of a sense of what's where. Kind of a room with a pool here, some double doors here, portcullis here, and then through into where the creatures were roaming, and that's where we'll leave it for the whistling.
Awesome.
Back to Jada. What's happening, Jada?
Alright. I think first of all we need to do some healing. Yeah, we'll do healing 5, which is level 7, so that's that overcast.
Okay, cool. So she is definitely 6th level, so there's a 25% chance that something goes bad. Give me a roll. It's just, there's nothing you can do about this roll. It's just pure dumb luck. 25 or under, she's got a problem. Otherwise, she's fine. I think it's 25, or is it 20? No, she's fine. Either way, cool. And then casting the spell, please. 22 with prep plus all the rest, which I think we worked out was 65. That spell is successful. What happens?
Right, so it's 50 hit points. She had 29.
29. Okay, Askel, you're on -9.
Alright. 9. 2. Where is it? I need him away. Yeah, because he's got the cut, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not bleeding.
Correct. She thinks he's definitely got pretty bad muscle or tendon damage, I should say.
Yeah. Hit muscle, the tendon here.
Okay. We'll come back to you, perhaps. Is that all right?
Oh,
Or have you got it? You know what you're doing?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That's all right. It's not your character, mate. It's all good. So you know.
Yeah.
And just to say, for the record, really appreciate you stepping in to play Jada, and Aiden for you stepping in to play Demos. So thank you. I appreciate it. All good.
Yeah, so the next spell would be Muscle Repair 3.
Okay.
So it'd be how many muscles or tendons look to be damaged?
She's pretty convinced it's tendon rather than muscle damage.
Oh, yeah. Know how much?
It was a really good diagnostic. She thinks it's 1.
1. All right. I'll do level 4 tendon repair 1.
Give me a roll.
Oh, 17.
Still, however, plus 30 because you're touching, plus 10 because you're shouting, plus 5 because you're waving your arms, and plus 20 because you prepared. That is another success. Askel, you're unconscious. You don't know this, but over the next few rounds or so, your agonizingly painful tendon, which was causing you -25 to everything you did, will slowly but surely knit as Jada's magic comes in and slowly heals your leg. You think the spell was pretty successful, Jada. He's still unconscious, however.
Right. I'm going to do one last spell, which is Awakening, which is level 5.
So sorry. Just in terms of the game, if you're negative hit points, yeah, you need to be positive hit points to be awake. So he's not that Jada knows this, of course, but he's -9.
But 7, 14. I'm going to do a healing 1.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I can do. No, yeah, I'll just do healing 1. Goes.
Go for it.
Sick. $80.
Sweet. The spell is, again, most definitely successful.
1d10 healing. This. 1 point.
1 point. Askel, you're now on -8.
Okay.
Just to check, is any other character? So Nicholas, you're relaying back what the Whispering is saying. You're probably doing it in relatively hushed tones. Any other characters saying, doing, interacting, speaking, yeah, saying or doing anything else that I should be aware of. We'll come back to Jadar in just a tick.
Nothing from Nathan with them.
Yeah, Gray's just kind of trying to be useful but not get in the way. Amos is just making sure the lights are on.
Keros, Severin, Tanya, etc. If you're not, no compulsion to speak, but just checking, going once.
No, just hanging, waiting to see.
Okay.
I'd be helpful.
Cool. Okay, cool. Back to Jada.
Alright. Yeah, we'll go healing 1 again. Just Joda's definitely feeling low on power points.
The healer's getting low.
Yeah. So healing 1 again.
Okay, give me a roll, please.
98.
Spell's definitely successful. Again. And where's my spell?
9 points. There
9 points. There we go. So right about this time, with 1 solitary hit point to spare, Askel, your eyes open, and you see the very first thing you see is Jadar staring into your face, looking quite concerned, and your companions standing around you. Demos is standing over you with a lantern. You're feeling incredibly weak, you feel awful, actually, Askel, but you're awake and you're alive. What do you say or do?
I guess he would smile weakly and say, I guess I didn't make the jump then.
Anything else?
Thank you. He would say thank you.
Okay. He's well-mannered, this guy. He's well-mannered. He may not like poor people, but he's well-mannered. Excellent. Anything else from anybody? Saying, doing, acting?
Mithan's happy to do some healing on Askel to get his hits up a bit higher, if that's okay with him. Yeah?
Most definitely.
Okay, cool. So she'll do the prep and touch him. Level 4 spell. 88.
Spells is... Wow, lots of healing spells. Yep, spell successful.
And it's 3d10 hits. Yeah, 8 more.
8 more?
Yeah.
Askel, you are feeling a little bit better. You're now on... by the way, you have gone up a level since you passed out. So your hits would have gone up, etc. You're now on 9 hits.
Cool. And he's got a ×2 healing rate as well.
He does. So normally most people heal at 1 hit point per hour. Not that hours seem to be a thing in this area, in this place. But that would obviously be half the time for him.
Yep.
Excellent. Sorry, what was that?
Would it be every 30 minutes or he
It'd be every
double?
30. Yes.
Sweet.
Yep. If he's resting. If he's active, it's 1 every 3. So for him, 1 every half hour. Oh, hour and a half. Cool. What do you do? Nicholas, you've done some scanning. Maybe time for a group chat. Don't know.
Have you finished your exploring, Nicholas?
Well, no, we haven't been to all areas.
Should we do a bit more of that?
If that's okay with everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
GM is going to do some jiggery pokery. I'm just going to switch the screen off for a tick until we look and see what else is going on here. All right. Sorry, Graham. Go for it. No, have a chat while I'm. Please have a chat while I'm.
Yeah, I was just going to. All this talk of spores in the air and icky kind of fungi. Strongly, obviously, state the obvious. There's certain sections of this place looks like we don't want to be in.
Mithan does have disease purification, stop infection and or spread of a disease in one target after they've acquired the disease, thus no further damage will occur in uninfected areas of the body. So that's first level spell, so she can do that.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
If we need, and she's also got poison, which neutralizes anyone poison in the system of one target.
Cool.
One option could be you could either try and burn it. That's a good option. Because it could burn off. It might be too picky. The other thought, I know you here flew back over the trap, but maybe you can actually just go right around to the left. I don't know if we could have gone
through the skeletons. That's the room where the skeletons locked in it.
No, the other one in the same room as the well. There was that other door.
Opposite.
Yeah.
I think let's see where I think we should finish exploring what's behind the portcullises. Past the pool room, because there was 2 more exits off that, and there's a couple of more exits to where the creatures seem to have access. But then I reckon, I think going through that other door is a good idea.
Because it might just take us around, might be there. You go around, you don't actually have to go in there. And there's some gleaming magical sword laying in the middle of all the fungus and spores.
Well, there's a few items there we probably should investigate and collect up and test, but probably better done en masse.
So a way over the pit would be good, wouldn't it?
What, sorry? A route, you know?
Mm. Yes, because I think if we're all going to go through that door, then we sort of all need to get there. What are you doing? Fly spells?
Do we actually just knock out these skeletons?
I think it loops you back into there anyway, doesn't it?
That's what I mean.
Yeah, it does, but without a pit. Yeah. I think it would be good to knock out the skeletons. I think we should have a rest, personally.
Yeah, well, I was wondering, sleep might be a good idea for everyone, right? And get the power points back? Yeah, okay, cool.
But also, I do figure that if there was one trap into this room, there might be another trap in the skeleton's room, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe. I'm sure it won't be the first trap, no. And they're pretty bloody nasty. Yeah. Let's go carefully, I reckon.
It's so cool to herd them into that trap, though. That'd be good.
Yeah, that would be good, actually.
Or we could see if we can make a noise on the well room side of the door, because if the trap's in the same place.
Open the door and then.
Well, no, just at least make a noise at it. Make a noise at that door, the one in the well room.
Yeah, or open it and then scoot back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually a really good idea.
True, and then lead them through into our pit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, let's try it. See.
All right. Anyway, let's just do some flying.
Yeah. And then you can do some teasing of skeletons.
Yeah.
Leering and jeering at them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So map back on. Firstly, for you guys, hopefully you can see that. You can see that now, and back onto the stream. So first things first, in this room here, you haven't properly investigated it before until now, because you've only caught glimpses of it. But yes, several things definitely of note. Up on, as well as this large amount of just horrible fungus, and there's a lot of it here. There's 10 levers, quite clearly 10 levers up on the wall. Big pulleys, quite chunky handles that you clearly pull down. So they're located up on this wall here. It's quite a few.
The left of the statue.
Yeah.
10.
10.
And how many portcullises are there?
Some portcullises.
Let's count them.
Yep. Also in this room, there's quite a lot of kind of ash and broken pottery and just kind of filth and grime. Investigating this little room here. In here, whoops. In here, there's this horrible statue in the corner here, just quite hideous. There's also like a morning star, like a flail, lying in the corner. There's like a blanket and stuff in here. Again, the mold is quite prevalent. And then rather hideously in this corner here, there's a kind of a pile of skulls. And then out through here is now your quite familiar corridor that you first came in, and there is Keros's ice wall, which is still there. It has, by the way, been eaten away with some of the acid, but it's still reasonably solid. So that's, you've entirely checked here. Going through into here. So this room here is just full of kind of rotting barrels and piles of garbage and just kind of hot, detritus and just mess, basically. We'll get a better angle through here. And just rubbish, really, from what you can see. A room about yay big, and then there's a tunnel that goes off down here, and at about this point, the Whispling and Nicholas, you're kind of running out of oomph. You do, however, manage to get a bit further with the Whispling here, and you come into a room, and it's another room with a pool in it, and you can see there that the spores are just everywhere, and everything in this room is just utterly covered in this black slime, and the water itself, it's kind of unmoving. You didn't actually realize, Nicholas, when you first kind of looked around it, that it was water, but it's just covered with this black filth, completely covering in it. There are kind of several holes in it, and you see kind of spores coming up out of it. And at the very end of it, you can just see, and this is kind of on the very edge of your vision, Nicholas. There's, you can just make out, I'll just move the map down a little bit more. There's another portcullis down here, you think. Can I find it? Can the GM find it? Yes, there. Just on the edge of vision. It's you basically reach the length of your Whispling there.
That statue is another winged person.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
As you've been seeing kind of throughout your time here. Yeah.
These were the inhabitants. I mean, the inhabitants of this place were the winged people when they.
Yes, that's right.
Because they fled to here.
Persecution, I think.
Persecution. Oh. Okay. Not a nice room for us to go into. Let's keep away from it.
No.
Awesome.
Can we count portcullises down?
Yeah.
Go on
then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 that you've seen so far. 8 here.
8. Yeah. It seemed likely the levers would operate them right one by one, so that's good to know.
Yeah. Happy to get them down for now. And the last place to explore is that off the pool room.
Correct? Oh yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. GM's going to do the same. Just take you off screen for a second or so, and you talk amongst yourselves. Get back a tick.
So, where do you think we should put ourselves? Should we relax overnight and then take on the skeletons, or take on the skeletons and then relax for the night?
I think we should. I think we should be refreshed before doing it, because things might just go wrong.
Sure.
Agreed, and recover PowerPoints and so on.
Yeah. So where do you think we should spend the night? It was a lovely place. What room should we spend the night in? Same as before, do you
It's a
think?
choice, really, aren't we?
Not the storeroom. That would be my
Not-
not the
I
storeroom.
feel like sleep might be quite good in there, though.
True.
Put you to sleep. You might not wake up, though.
What about
I mean, do we go to the
Middle
same
East.
place?
the middle room? So the one that's parallel or just below the skeleton room? Because there's a door to the left and a door to the right.
Is that the one with the door trap across one door, though?
Isn't there one just in front, slightly more? Like you go into the room with the trap room.
Yeah, there's a little. Yeah, so there's the room with the blood pool in it.
Yeah, so go to the left.
Yeah.
That's a
And you go-
special room to.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There are two rooms there. You're right. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
But you're right. Well,
Yeah, so I agree. Somewhere sort of away from the main entrance, right?
yeah, because
Yeah, but it's got a door.
Yeah.
Is there a door? There is a door in that room as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could all shut that, and then we're between a door and a pit.
I think we should also chuck the remnants of the skeletons down the hole.
Yes.
Oh, but I think we were quite thorough in our burning and burying. Or burning and...
What do we think about these creatures? Do we just leave them rotting? I mean, I assume then we don't think they're undead, but
We should examine them, definitely.
yeah.
I thought we went through to get them dead.
I can imagine if they all came alive again. Oh, no.
what about burning them? Like, who's
Yeah.
got
Yeah, I mean, we could burn them. I honestly don't want to create a massive fire down here, but we.
But also, I think we might not have enough
Chop
oil.
into bits.
if
About.
I've got any magic left to throw a bit of a burn spell out or something? Firewall?
We don't have any. My ones don't have any fiery stuff.
Yeah.
I think they are living creatures. So I don't. But it'd be good to examine them just to make sure.
They might have some good alchemy bits. Take the bile ducts and things.
Oh yeah.
All right, folks.
I bet our friend soon will probably know if they've got, I don't know, nice bits to take. Who knows?
Gray could make them into some nice new boots.
So, Nicholas, the Whistling's been on patrol. I'm really choosing this spell, but well chosen to you, Pete. Kudos in front of your fellow players for some very, very good choices of spell lists. Ones to really annoy the GM. So you've done your circuit. You've been into this place with all the spores coming up out of this horrible pool. You've come back around here, and this little whistling, basically like a little drone is probably the best description, is flying around, and you've come back into this room after having a look around, and this room, just to remind you, there was a door here, and there's a doorway basically directly behind Nicholas, and you come up here, and there are these stairs that go down. You remote controlling your whistling, you turn and you go down the stairs, and then all of a sudden, something's not right. Something's very, very wrong, because in front of you, in the gloom, there are figures, and when they see the light, they bellow and rush towards you. You can't quite see the number, but there's at least 3, and these things are hideous. They are horrible looking. They are loathsome. They are death incarnate. They chill absolutely Nicholas's core. They look like this, and they just are horrendous. They see the light, and they rush towards it, screaming and bellowing, and clawing, and grasping and griping at trying to pull the light down. The light goes up, and the whistling gets out of sight. But yes, these things, 1, 2, 3, rush into this pool room, flailing, desperately trying to claw at this light. I would like you, Nicholas, to make a resistance roll against. Yeah. Against channeling, please. No, sorry, against self-discipline. Beg my pardon.
Ooh. 39.
39. Let me just check this. What's your self-discipline, please, Pete?
Plus 17.
17. Just 1 second.
Ooh.
Sorry, your level. Sorry, you said that. What was it?
My level is.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Level is 6, and
Yep.
self-discipline is 17.
17. Thank you.
Sure.
And you rolled a.
What did I roll? 39? 39.
Yeah. So this this site is utterly like these things. They're much worse, much more hideous, much more loathsome, much more aggressive than the three creatures you saw previously. And there's a second or two as Nicholas kind of, he's obviously remote controlling this thing, this whistling, where absolutely every ounce of his being for a second or two is just, I gotta get out, I gotta go, and then he just talks himself down. It's all right, you've got control, and you're able to operate as you wish. What do you do, Nicholas?
Okay.
Roaring and clamoring.
There are 3 of them?
Yes.
Okay.
At the moment, but you think you can hear more noises coming from down this tunnel.
I think. Nicholas will appeal to everyone else to continue to explore or pause. Like, he'll describe the situation. Take a moment to describe the situation, or take a moment to steady himself.
Yep.
Then describe what he's seen. We probably have been able to hear it from wherever we are.
Distant. Well, yeah, within 100 foot. No, you're within 100 foot. No, you can hear it.
So he'd shakily describe what it is that he's seeing, and then do we want to and put the question? Do we want to antagonize these by exploring further? I mean, he won't get much further because it's out of his range, or call it there.
I don't think it's much point going any further, right? We know what's immediately ahead of us.
Yeah.
Are there any? What about areas off to between the trapdoor and where these creatures are? Is there any more openings, or have you done them all?
I forgot all the openings. Is there another portcullis off to the?
That's it.
That's it. That is it. Okay.
So you came. That was the room with the whoops. That's the room with the well in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the room with the well in it. This is where you guys are now. That's the room with the pool where the whistling is and these horrible creatures are. That's the room down to the double doors. That's the room going off down there towards this pool down here.
And just check that it is dark and shady there to the left side of the skull room, just between the room with the well's doorway and the pool room's doorway down that wall. Is that?
There's nothing.
Cool. And on the skull room, yeah, further, yeah. Okay, cool. Nothing weird. Cool. Yeah. So I'm happy to just retract the whistling.
Oh, are you going to check the bodies?
Check. Sorry, which bodies? Oh, yeah. Yep. I suppose go and investigate the creatures we've killed to make sure.
You see, just as the Whistleming's departing, at least another 2 of these things run up. And these 3 rush up to the bars. Here. Another one rushes round to these bars. And there's at least another 2 or 3 behind them. It's hard to make out exactly, but they're shaking. Bang! One is at these bars, a couple at these bars, and there's others running around behind them. But they're angry and they're shaking. They've seen the light and the light of the Whistling, and they're clearly getting very aggressive towards it. Oh, and with this, and at this juncture with the noise, I mean it's reasonably distant, but the banging on the doors with the skeleton starts up again.
Oh, which door?
Sorry?
Is it the door into the blood pool room or the door into the well room?
Which door? Sorry?
The skeleton they're banging on? Is it the one into the blood pool room?
You're hearing banging from this door here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. What about those dead things?
Just to check, any other actions from either Askel, who is now just awake, or Jada, or Grey, or Keros? Anything I should know about?
I think we sort of agreed we were going to move to that centre room. I think maybe it would be Jada helping Askel into that room. They weren't already in there.
This one here?
Go left. Left door.
That one there?
Yeah, I think they're already in there, aren't they?
Most people. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. It would just be Askel getting comfortable, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Askel's getting comfortable. Jada's kind of keeping a weather eye on Askel. What is either Demos or Grey or Keros or anybody else doing?
Once we're all in there, do you think it's a good idea to maybe just casting lock on the doors just so that nothing can get in while we're sleeping, or?
Right.
Yeah, sounds good. Just
unlock them.
Yeah, I think a bit of quiet time would be good. Did just as the Whistling was coming back, did we look at those bodies? Or?
Yeah, that was the idea. Is it?
You do look at the bodies? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
examining.
I just want to make sure that everybody has a chance. Anything from Keros I should be aware of? Going once, going twice, going. Oh, iPad. I forget Alex is on the iPad, so it sometimes takes a while to jump off. Nope. Okay. You have a look at the bodies. These things, there are 5 dead creatures in here. The very, very large thing. The arrow that you notice, Whistling, is basically almost up to the feathers in this creature. It's gone all the way, and that was a hell of a shot from Tanya. The other creatures, all 4 are lying. They're certainly not moving. They hard to be sure, but they look pretty dead.
No, by this time we would have noticed reanimation. We'd noticed the reanimation with the other ones, hadn't we?
Mm-hmm.
We'll remove the Whistling, maybe make it disappear down the corridor out from the skull room. So not towards us, towards the... Yeah. And then... Yeah, and I don't know if I can cancel it or whatever.
Yes, you can cancel spells, yep.
Okay, yep, we'll cancel it so that it doesn't... So, yeah. And it's done.
Cool. It's bang on 10 o'clock, guys. I'm happy to keep going for another half an hour. I'm also happy to shut up shop. What do people want to do?
I have a little bit of freelance work that I need to get done, so I might just pop off.
Sure.
Yeah, I've got a big date.
I think that's a calling it from there. Do we have a kind of a... Yep, let's call it, folks. I'm gonna say let's call it. Can we have a kind of a wrap up description of what characters do, just to kind of get us to a close in the game?
Well, I think we're intending to close ourselves in that room and sleep.
Okay.
So that'd be a good place to leave it, right?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Essentially, was to close the door behind us and maybe even lock it magically.
Okay. How sounds good. How do you lock it behind you? Who does the locking? It's probably the last action of the game.
Gray has magic lock. It's level 2, so he can probably do that. And I think he probably wouldn't have any more power points left.
On which door?
Probably the door to the skeletons are currently banging on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're thinking this one here?
I'll probably do the door to the room that we're in.
Yes. So that one there. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Preparation, touching, etc. Cast the spell.
All that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
5.
5. Not a failure. The spell is cast. What happens, please?
Wonderful sound like that, and then we'll kind of just shimmers and then just become really solid. It feels like it doesn't move.
What's the description of the spell?
Yeah, that's good. Door can be magically locked. The door can be broken normally, or the spell can be dispelled. Otherwise, the door cannot be opened.
Okay, cool. So here's the door closing. And as you can see, hopefully on the map, the door is shut. And that, and any preparations for this one here?
I don't know how many power points he has left, but if we could lock that one too, that'd be great. Don't think he has many left. It's probably cast a lock.
Okay, give me a roll. One more time.
Rather than magic lock. 13.
Again. Spell successful. The door closes. You guys are sealed in this room, and you fall down. For those, presumably you're putting on some watch. We'll go over watch order perhaps next session. But you collapse. Those that are not staying on watch into a terrified but very much welcomed sleep. And that is where we're going to leave the game for tonight. Hope you have fun!
Very good session. Very good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Action packed.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Night all.
Yep.
Night all. Sorry, Pete.
I say, so there was flying by Niathanel, supporting by Demos and Etienne, but I think Kuros, out of the hero party, Kuros was the one who pulled the arrow out and cast Authorized. It's such a great spell. So I would say Beta to Kuros.
Beta to Keros. Well deserved.
You.
Well deserved.
Thanks,
Pete. And Graham, well, I say well done. I say well done for that. And Graham, do you have a nominee, or are you wanting to leave till tomorrow? All good either way.
I think it's pretty clear this week. The Animal Man did a fine job of lowering himself into a pit. I'm very brave, didn't have to do it, and yeah, good work, Ray, I reckon.
Thanks.
Lots of healing as well, lots of spell casting. He had a big
Yeah.
Good kisses.
a lot of work and kisses.
And,
Yeah.
and a few
Yeah.
kisses.
Nice.
Just, do you want to set? We could put you two in a different room if you like.
Please.
There we go, guys. Excellent.